No, I'm hopeful.
Nope, you're dead. You're not hopeful, you're dead.
So you don't have us up on streaming yet, right?
Correct. I'm trying to get it fixed. Hold on.
My nephew went down to like some like Arlington Cemetery or something, and he went to the grave of the unknown soldier, and he's like 6. And my sister-in-law posted that he said, "Oh, these aren't unknown soldiers anymore because when they died and went to heaven, they are with all their friends and they know who they are." I was like, kids say the craziest stuff, right? Is that weird? Crazy.
Pretty weird.
Kind of sweet.
That was kind of
sweet.
cute.
That's what a kid says when they're like 6, you know? I was just sharing that with you guys because I was
I thought you were going to say something about the devil went down to Georgia.
No, but the reason I actually mentioned that was because you mentioned we're all going to die and be with Hawk. See, so we won't be unknown soldiers anymore. We'll be with our friends, and we'll all be happy, right?
Zelbor was never an unknown soldier. Everyone loved Zelbor.
And he was never a soldier.
Exactly.
Well, that too.
Okay, I have to kill the meeting and make a new one. It's working, but it's not working in OBS. Hold on.
That's fine.
So first you killed Hawk, and now you're killing everyone.
Yes.
Yes. He just doesn't love us anymore.
Apparently.
Anymore.
Personally, I blame Mexico.
It's always Mexico's fault. Now,
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I've learned from Trump.
Do you have to post up a new Zoom thing, or can we click on the old one?
No, I gotta post up a new one. Hold on.
Put it on.
Posting up a new one.
Yeah, give me a second here. Sorry, guys.
All right, be right back.
The new one will also blame Mexico.
Of course. How'd you know he'd be a Republican? Okay, when I post it, I need you to join in the order that I call out. So don't join it until I say join it.
Alright, as soon as he puts it, everyone joins simultaneously.
Alright, Andy first.
Done.
And then it goes Matt.
Order of importance.
No, just order that you entered before.
Come on.
Kevin, join.
Yeah, if it's order of importance, why didn't I go first?
Yeah, I said that because of you.
Did he step away, Kevin?
You should wear
Kevin?
a crown next time you're on deck.
God,
Nah,
that'd be
just put a crown.
I should.
Well, he'll have
Tiara.
one. He'll hopefully have one by the end of the session.
That'll be cool. Crowns, because he likes crowns. And he looks awesome in them. So stop it, all you haters, yeah. You don't look as fly as me.
See, that's the thing, though, too. Like, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, if we were okay, last but not least, Zach.
Where's Zach?
He joins last.
Yeah.
Wait, this is like delayed.
But what were you saying a second ago, John?
Hold on a second, sorry.
No, it's fine.
So, okay, I think I have it. Transition key, and it says it's still streaming. So I probably got all of that.
Hilarious.
Let's find out. Someone test that Twitch.
Working.
It seems to be working. Hold on, I'm going to check it. Sound seems to be working fine.
Okay. Alright, well, that's cool. Yeah, I probably just recorded all that whole thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right.
Here's the part where I leveled everyone up to level 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, the internet broke at my house. So if people were actually watching, sorry about that.
I actually have friends watching.
Yeah, Scarlet Dog I see is in there, and
Yep.
other
Dogo.
Yep. So anywho,
Dogo and I think Messi.
Cardiff pulled him down with the dreadnought, and then Malik said, "Can I see anything that happened?" And I told him no, but he can hear that there's this strange maniacal laughing coming up from the hold of the mirror outside the ship, which would be the strange flat surface that people can walk on, but the boat seems to be able to sail on too. That said, is what you hear.
Right.
Oh man. How come every Cardiff we meet ends up coming to some strange demise?
That's just his lot in life. Also, question: what is the guy that was kneeling doing now?
He's standing next to Boo, just hanging out.
He's my buddy.
They're best friends.
So,
yeah.
question from the peanut gallery: what just happened? Oh, ugly one.
It's very similar to what happened to Hawk.
Malik, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to him. You see, I insulted him.
Oh, sorry, I took it the wrong way.
Proud of you for assuming that you were the ugly one, though. Good to be self-aware.
Yeah, I mean that's usually how it goes, right?
You know, it's big of you to admit it.
People sometimes hate the tail, you know? You don't get that.
Amazing. The guy, Karak, we'll call him.
I totally threw the DM off.
He looks to he looks to Zelbor and kind of just shakes his head, then looks to Boo and he says, "You spared my life. I treated you unfairly before. Honor dictates that I no longer do so." He nods his head to you. He looks to Malik. "You are my captain, you are my lord." And he puts his hand on his chest, over his heart, and kneels again to you, but on one knee instead of both his knees, crying. And he says, I will steer the ship wherever you wish it to go, my lord."
All right. I will walk over to him, kind of grab him and help him stand up straight, and I'll be like, and then like hit him hard on the shoulder, you know, like, you know.
Mhm.
And I'd say, "Okay, I have something I need you to do. Can you find my friend Hawk? I know he has to be here somewhere. There has to be some way to get to him. Can you do that for me?"
You do not wish to go to your throne? To your crown?
Well,
I would like that.
No, not you. Not you.
all right. Well, you know, a crown and a throne are only worth so much if you're missing one of your friends.
No, they're worth a lot, even if you are missing your friends.
Time has changed you. You have become more honorable than I recall, my lord. And you hear the voice of the mirror stop laughing, and it says, "You have become weaker. You are not my blood."
No, what's...
And you see the clawed hand come up on the one side of the ship, and then another one on the same side of the ship, and it starts to pull itself back up onto the
All right,
top.
get ready to
I think this is
rumble,
the first
guys.
time that Zelbor has seen it. Make an Arcana intelligence Arcana check.
Yay,
Come on,
something else
Zelbor,
that I have
get ready to
expertise
rumble.
in.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Zelbor. This thing can like make a negative magic field or something. So get ready for nothing, I guess.
Okay.
I have Arcana trained too. Can I
But
roll
you
that?
already rolled against this. This was the thing inside the ice. Way back when.
Yeah, Boo did.
Oh, you're right. I did.
We
This is
were
the
trying
first
to
time
get
Forgot
he's-
about that.
Yeah, this is the first time he's seen it. My stuff is lacking, so just tell me what you got on that Arcana check.
I got an
18.
18.
Not bad.
Do you have Arcana trained?
You know that it's a very potent
Jesus.
outsider. I think you as a player know what it is, which
I
is
have a pretty good idea.
disconcerting. But you would know that it appears to be kind of a It has a very predatorial kind of look to it, and as its eye kind of comes over, it seems to kind of focus in on Boo. And Boo, every single magic item that you have on you, with the exception of the amulet, stops working.
Son of a bitch.
Why? Why'd he look at me? I didn't say nothing.
Nerfed.
Roll initiative.
It must
Oh,
know you're a friend of mine.
We need our tokens to roll initiative.
Oh god, you sure do.
Initiatize.
Let me in on this battle.
Oh, you did.
Dead.
And we'll see how it goes.
Ugh. Ugh.
Hey.
Gun and Dave.
Hey.
I'm good.
You disarmed that trap? Well, there's actually.
Please still
There's
die.
another trap behind the trap.
No!
Not that.
That
You
hurt.
disarmed
But
that.
his perception check was so good!
You disarmed that
Doesn't
second
matter.
trap? Well.
I heard you like traps, so I put a trap in the trap.
Oh man.
All right. Let's see. That's all I need. Yeah, you can roll initiative now.
Oh, we can? Alright, sweet. Let's try
Yep,
it.
tokens are on the board.
Oh, tokens are on the
26 bitches!
You going fast, boy.
Zelbor did not like
Run away
identifying that outsider.
Holy f-
Right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's see.
There we go.
And my boy goes on. Why did it click that?
He has AC 20.
Hey, maybe.
Natural armor.
All right, Zelbor. It looks like you're gonna have the first go of it, and Boo on deck. Malik shortly after that. But as mentioned, its eye is currently focused in on Boo, and you just feel like this is kind of a draining magic zone, an anti-magic zone.
That can't be good.
Yes, it can't be good. Okay. So this is going to be fun. Guys, I'm going to blow my 9th level spell
Do it.
on myself.
It's alright.
All right.
I am now... I think I'm going to go with...
Oh, flawless.
True polymorph. Sweet. You're gonna turn into Mel. I think that's a good choice. You know, I think that's probably what Mel would do if he could polymorph. He'd turn
Oh, you
into
nailed it,
Mel.
dude. You
Yeah,
Or-
I'm going to turn...
or turn into Hawk and then let Hawk play you.
Yes! Yeah, then you can just let him play you.
But with his character sheet.
That'd be so awesome.
Lol.
No,
Or turn into Boo, and then the thing won't know which one to kill, and so he'll just kill both of you.
Yeah, but the second he
What?
put his anti-magic cone over Zell, it would stop working.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn into an adult green dragon.
Okay.
Nice.
Sounds good. You gotta respect poison. Wait,
gotta
adult or
respect-
ancient?
Adult. I can't turn into an ancient. That's too high of a...
Too
a
high
challenge
CR,
rating.
huh?
Yeah, I can only turn into something up to 17th level right now.
Okay.
Uh,
So you're pretty sure that the cone, you would know too. You'd be able to sense that it has like a very similar eye to a beholder. The field that's in front of it,
Right.
anything it's looking at is anti-magic. You're pretty sure just based on the size of the eye, it's probably a 100-foot cone. So since you guys are so close to it, you're not in the cone, and it doesn't look like it can get
Well-
all of you in it, just based on its proximity. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's also part of the reason why I decided to do this, because I can get some distance from him and move in and out with this, because I've got like, yeah, an
And
80-foot flying speed.
You're a
so-
green dragon, you said.
Yeah, I think I want to go green dragon.
Okay.
Because I can, green dragons are amphibious, so I'm thinking I might be able to
Yeah.
possibly.
All right, so it goes to Boo.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
I can still move.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I'm
Sorry.
I'm going to actually just fly up. So I'm basically like I want to, for right now, hover outside
Okay.
reach of its eye a little bit.
So 80 feet up is what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Boo. As mentioned, it appears to be kind of focusing its eye on you, and that basically means it's just going to kind of tail you. Even you're not going to be able to elude its sight unless you somehow become invisible or not seen by it. So for the purposes of that, the only magic item that you have that currently works is that amulet.
Great. How does it feel about arrows in that giant fucking eye of its?
It's a great question. Let's find out.
Hold on. I'm gonna click this, but we need to minus like 3 on the attack roll or something stupid like that.
Yep, and the damage.
Yeah.
So that'll hit, and the next one that'll still hit even with minuses.
Did you go directly for the eye?
Yeah, I'm trying to hit it in the middle of the freaking eye. I don't know if that'll make it close its eye or anything.
That'll hit too. So what I want you to do is, for damage purposes, and I'm just making you do it because I'm lazy, is when you hover over it, you'll see that there's a number in parentheses.
Yeah.
That number plus whatever your dexterity modifier is the damage of each of the arrows. So find out what those total is and tell me what it is.
6 plus 12 is 18, plus 8 is 26.
The first arrow kind of hits the eye and then kind of bounces off as if the eye was like made out of something more solid. It seems that it's resistant to non-magical damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing weapons. And the second hits, and the third hits, and it kind of leaves like a scratch in the iris. It kind of blinks for a second, but it seems to be kind of still focused in on you. It seems like it could work, but not from a non-magical bow. Alright. Malik, you're not close enough to Boo to be in the aura, or in the eye beam. What would you like to do? You see that Zelbor turns into a green dragon and just flies off into the sky.
Alright, I would like to charge so that I'm within 60 feet. I guess I probably would be, right? Unless I'm on way other side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So am I within 60 feet of him?
He's like right on the edge of the ship, so yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, yeah. Alright, well then I will cast a spell at him. I'm gonna see if this works. Level 4.
Okay.
If it'll work. Hang on 1 minute. Can you see on the screen? It should pop up.
Yeah, so the second you cast it, nothing happens.
Son of a bitch, I think I might have tried that like a couple episodes ago, or games ago, but I couldn't remember if it worked.
The astral dreadnought, this dreadnought cannot leave this plane, nor can it be banished or otherwise transported outside of this plane.
Son of a gun. Well, that is an action. I guess I could do a move. I could do a bonus action if I have something like that. Do I have anything like that? Let's see.
You can cast like a first, second, or third level spell with a bonus action if you have a bonus action spell that does it, like Healing Word or whatever.
Yeah.
Shield of Faith, something like that.
Yeah, those sort of things. Well, I don't have... Oh, wait. I know what I could do. Although this probably won't work. Am I within 30 feet of Boo?
Yeah.
I'll try as a bonus action casting Sanctuary on him just to see if
cool.
it'll work.
Second the spell kind of goes up, nothing happens because you're casting into an anti-magic zone.
Son of a bitch. This magic stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, that's it.
Okay.
I'll have to think of something different to do next round.
It moves itself over the frame of the ship and kind of reaches down like towards Boo. Boo, as it approaches you, you see that there's this strange silver line that's connected to your chest, but seems to be kind of drifting off to the south and like trailing. As it does so, it moves in. It places its claw right in front of you, closes its claw over your chest, like just tightly there. You see the cord get snapped, and you all watch as Boo's frame is obliterated and he dissipates.
I knew that was going to happen too. I could see it coming.
Cutscene. Hawk,
boo-hoo!
Hawk, you feel like you were just flushed down a toilet, and you're kind of like stuck against this stone, and you just are covered in water. There's just water like all over you, and it's kind of like rushing out of your nose and your mouth, and you're like, ah! It's salt, briny water. And when you kind of get up and look around, you realize that you're in the room inside of the Vazriel temple where you had placed the stone in the first place to enter the plane of water.
Oh, man.
Oh, cool.
You were shunted out entirely. You kind of gather yourself and kind of, take in a breath. I'm assuming you're kind of going to take a second to think about what's going on. If you're doing anything besides that, let me know.
No, that's good.
Yep.
Collect myself.
Out of nowhere, just vomiting up out of the earth, comes this frame, this very skinny-looking frame. Tightly clung to it as its wet cloak. It starts vomiting up water and this pinkish-colored slime, and it kind of looks up at you with these just vulnerable eyes, and it looks like it's Cardiff, but in a strange cloak. Do you know Selhor? Are you Selhor's friend?
Zelbor? Yeah, I am Zelbor's friend. Cardiff friend.
Who?
You don't recognize me.
Who? Why do people keep calling me that?
Who are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm the Valiard.
Who?
The Valiard.
I'm sorry, I don't recognize that name.
It's not a name, boy. It's a title.
I don't recognize the title.
Fair enough. It's an old Elvish term. It's a master of court. I am sometimes also known as... and you hear like a crack as he kind of pops his neck. Jizix.
So Hawk has heard that name before, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Keeper of the Oath defended the ritual site, yes?
That's right.
Whoa, notes. What happened to Zelbor? What happened to the others?
They were on the deck of my ship, and then the true Devunray came. The frame of it, the whale form of it, came up over the deck of the ship. I presume your friends are all dead.
Can we get back?
How did you get here in the first place?
I placed the stone.
So, wait, as you're about to like finish that sentence, Boo, you're kind of just cast onto the stone. Water just kind of playing out from him.
I'd like to use one of my legendary actions.
Okay, what?
I'm kidding.
Boo kind of just splashes out onto the frame. Okay, cut from you guys back to the fight. The second it cuts the cord, it kind of looks over to Malik, and Malik, it kind of stops looking at you, but you realize that as its kind of eye comes over you, there's no change in you at all. Everything seems to be working for you.
You're Devunray.
All right, Zelbor at the top, big dragon.
I'm going to fly down some, and I'm.
Make a perception check.
Oh gosh.
I think you're gonna need to do this on your own, Mel.
We'll see.
Yeah, make.
Oh.
Position-wise, I'll give you advantage because you're kind of looking at you're looking at a watery background, the mirror. You see that attached to your green dragon chest, and you presume just your polymorph chest, there's this silver cord that seems to be heading towards the south. You seem to be attached or tethered to far off, far and away. You're not sure what the meaning of that is, but yeah, Mel doesn't seem to have one.
Makes sense, actually. Anyway, I would still like to continue down some, get within range, and just at the guy.
Okay.
It's a 60-foot cone.
Yeah. Go ahead and just roll me some damage. And you're doing it so it's like casting off of the side of the ship so it's not hitting the ship, or are you shooting it straight down into the ship?
I'm trying to basically get it so that I just catch that guy without hitting like Mel or the ship. I mean,
Gotcha.
It's poison, so it shouldn't really do too much damage to the ship, but just on the off chance. And this is, give me 1 second, it is 16d6.
That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
That's why I went with Dragon. Kind of awesome. Is that right? 16d6, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's 56. Hey, I actually hit the exact average. That is the average that's in the book.
Okay. I'll go ahead and roll my... It's, what saving throw? Dex or con?
It is a DC 18 Constitution saving throw.
Oh, wow. Well played. Yeah, it splashes into it. You see it kind of like swallow in. Its eye shuts entirely and starts to pustulate on the edges as the poison kind of fills its face. Its teeth kind of like 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 you're getting maced or something, and it kind of like backs away from the ship and falls off of the edge. It actually falls into the mirror and kind of falls underneath the surface.
Cool. I'm going to just sort of like fly up a
Flying,
little bit, but
kind of
somewhat hovering over the ship.
Okay.
Area.
Malik, you see it get cast off of the ship by the dragon's breath.
What I would do is run up to the side of the ship that was closest to where it was cast off from.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my sword high in the air, and I'm waiting. I'm going to ready an action for when it reappears to smite the shit out of it.
Okay.
Like with a level 4 smite, if I hit it.
You see that it's kind of like fallen face first, so you're seeing the back end of it kind of sinking in the mirror, and then it kind of turns about and kind of looks straight up. As it does so, it kind of moves up a bit, closer to the surface. Zell, it kind of looks up. I mean, you said you're hovering over the edge of the ship. It's looking up at you. At this point, I'd need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That is a d20 plus 6, since I'd be using
the dragons, yeah.
Dragons, so yeah, give me 1 second here. Plus 6.
Yep.
That is a 9.
You rolled a d12, though.
A mighty 9.
You're right, that is a d12. Sorry, I'll
That's
roll
good
a d20,
for a d12.
actually.
Can you convert that over
That's,
to a d20?
that's a 22. There
Okay.
we go.
So you don't become disconcerted by the fact that your dragon limbs and dragon body revert back to Zelbor's shape very suddenly as the anti-magic cone snaps onto you. And as you can kind of descend and get out of the anti-magic zone, you're Zelbor, you're like, oh, and you're about to kind of tuck and like, weave, but you kind of realize maybe I should kind of stay flat up. As you exit out of the anti-magic zone and kind of come over the deck of the ship, you turn back into a dragon and kind of very quickly, nimbly kind of catch yourself and kind of like
so cool.
cause the ship to rock a little bit. And so, Malik, you're standing on the edge of the ship with your sword raised, and now there's this big-ass green dragon behind you, kind of like with his head over, like not looking over the edge of the ship, like, oh. I don't want him to look at me, or I'm not a dragon anymore. Okay.
Over the eyes.
Can I jump off of the side into the monster's eye?
It's Zelbor's go. He can
Do it.
take a turn, but again,
Okay.
you feel like if you fly up over it, you're gonna snap right back into it. It's looking so like here's the ship, and then here's the eye kind of looking up at you. So here, hold on. Let me just use gestures because I can't hold down the button and do two hands. Here we go.
Oh wait.
Boat.
For some reason, hang on a minute.
Anti-magic. You
Cancel,
guys.
Yes! My poison breath recharges, John.
Well played.
Oh wait a minute.
So I would actually like to see about readying an action for it. If it comes over the edge, just let loose on it.
Okay. And then Malik, you see that the dragon's basically ready to just gun it on him if it comes up over the ledge. What would you like to do?
I'd like to. I gotta attack it somehow. So it's like, is it coming up over the edge, or is it getting close to doing that?
It hasn't come up at all yet. It's still underneath the mirror.
Can I? Oh, so I'd have to jump under the mirror to get to it. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna try it. What the hell? I'm gonna jump off the boat, head down towards the mirror, straight towards its face, with my sword of sharpness pointed right at the mirror, and I'm just gonna transform my tail into a tail just because it would look cool.
Sure. So I'm going to tell you two things that you realize as you're falling 30 feet, and they're going to be great, and you're gonna shit a brick. First off, what you notice for sure is when it focused on you, it didn't do so for long, and it probably just did so to kind of acknowledge you. but you're pretty sure that its next target isn't going to be you. It's going to be Zelbor.
I know, that's the problem.
So you're kind of in a protective state, but you're moving away from your charge. The second thing that I need to point out is as you fall 30 feet and your fins appear, you smack right into the hard surface of the mirror and start flopping around on it, and you take 9 points of damage because it's not a water surface for you, but it appears to act like water for that.
Son of a bitch.
So there's a flopping fish man. the old water trick.
The old mirror.
When it goes to the dreadnought, you see it. Malik, you see it move underneath the ship and rise up into the hull of the ship, treating the ship as it did before, phasing through it. Zelbor, make a strength saving throw with the dragon strength, of course.
Right. Which that's +6, so that's not terrible.
It's only a +6.
It doesn't have strength as a saving throw.
Weird. I guess it's a green dragon. Yeah, it's probably.
It's a green dragon. Yeah. 17.
Pretty good.
Nice.
It kind of latches onto you and kind of holds you in place for a second, and starts to kind of drag you down, and you can feel your body kind of like shift and become phased a bit as you're being pulled by this weird claw, but you manage to kind of slip your feet out from the effect, and because you're so big, and catch onto like flat surface and hold yourself up, and it kind of relinquishes its grasp on you, pulling its hand back down into the hold of the ship. I'll allow you to try and breathe on its hand if you want.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Because why not? 51 points of damage if it's successful, half save or whatever.
Yeah, I can't roll for shit. I got a +7, but apparently I can't roll for shit. Epic. Because you have a, what, is it a 17, 18 DC?
It's a DC 18.
Yeah.
For this.
Yep. Failure. Yeah, its hand goes back into the hold, like just covered with pustules and kind of blistering, pulling itself away. Okay. Malik, you see that it's remaining under the ship.
Hold on. I also want to then fly up off of the deck.
Away from it so you can see it if it's coming up again. Okay. Malik, you can see that it's remaining under the ship. It appears to just be kind of holding its position. So it kind of reached up and pulled down, but it's still like underneath the ship itself.
Is it? So it's underneath the mirror then, right?
Also true, yes.
Son of a bitch. Alright, well, I guess I'll either have to climb up the ship again or wait and be picked up by the dragon. But I think I'll just double move up, try to climb up on top of the ship again.
Okay. And then you kind of do so. You relinquish your fish feet and kind of start climbing up the ship. And once you get to the top, you see the lieutenant, the guy who was the master of the ship before, kind of touching the wheel. And just as he does so, you see the astral dreadnought's claw come up, grab him, and pull him down.
No, Lieutenant!
Just like Cardiff was pulled underneath, so is he. So you now have no pilot. You now have no pilot for the ship.
Well, that's bad.
All right.
It was nice having a pilot who knew how to get places.
We'll cut to back to the other side. Boo's kind of like laying there, kind of just breathing hard. You just got basically thrown through water, Zach. So you're kind of in the same place as Hawk. And that place is where you guys entered into the water world, the shrine underneath the town of Hilton. And the weird Cardiff is also there too. What do you do when you kind of come to? And Hawk, when you see that you're being reunited with your friends?
Yeah, I would definitely turn to Boo and say, what happened? What's going on?
Zach, can you hear us?
Zach,
You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I feel like Boo would look around, and I don't know if I can put together what just happened, but I'm pretty sure we just got booted out of. I know we got booted out of the temple we were just in, right? That's
Yeah,
just
you're proficient in Arcana. You're pretty sure what happened is your connection to that plane was rented by that creature.
So
like,
you say what happened, and Boo
Yeah, did you see Mel and Zell? Are they there? Are they okay?
He just like starts giggling a little bit, and the laughter builds a little more until he's like a little louder, and then he's full blown like laughing his ass off on the ground because he realizes how much Mel is gonna hate when Zell gets kicked out of there, and he realizes like this is so fucking funny how miserable Mel is gonna be, and he might die and we'll lose this mission, but it's so funny. Like the concept is like so funny for him. Like
as you guys are coming to that thought and you're giggling, more water starts splashing in the center area, and bones just start to kind of like litter that spot, and it looks like it's in the shape of a man, and they kind of just linger there, just covered with nasty brine, and it seems to be a humanoid body, just no flesh or muscle or sinew. It's just bones laying there.
I wonder what happened to that other guy.
Boo giggles and points at it, says dog. You think that one was Zell?
Oh no.
The
It
Valiard
doesn't have a tail.
You gotta check the skull.
You have to check and see if it has a tail.
Oh
Yeah, right.
god. Slowly flipping to chaotic.
Slightly enlarged.
the Valiard kind of backs away from you guys, just a bit confused, and he seems to be looking for, like, you can tell, he seems to be looking for an exit. The Valiard. But you wouldn't know him as Valiard, you'd still refer to him as Cardiff, but...
He said his name is Jizix. Is there a way back
Yeah.
in? I would say to Jizix. Is there a way back in?
He kind of looks at you and looks at your laughing friend and just doesn't seem to be ready to have a conversation with you guys.
So maybe once Boo calms down a little bit, Hawk would point to Boo's amulet and say, "What do you see? Is there anything here that can help us?"
What do your elven eyes see?
Just the amulet too, right? Gives you true sight.
Oh yeah, that's it.
True
That's-
sight and
that's it.
X-ray vision.
As you kind of start looking around, you see something that kind of makes you giggle a little bit more. There's a silver cord that dangles from you about 2 or 3 feet, and there's one that dangles from Hawk as well. He stepped away for a second. Cat, fun. Shift back into the water world. Zell, you're about 80 feet above the ship, so about 110 feet off of the mirror.
My breath does not recharge.
You can kind of see the silhouette of a creature underneath the ship, but you're not the silhouette, a shadow rather, of a creature underneath the mirror, or underneath the ship, but you're not sure exactly, precisely where it's at.
I'm going to fly up a little bit, so I'm about like 100 feet above the ship,
Yeah.
which should be about outside of his range, I think.
Make just an intelligence check. That was really good. As you kind of fly up, you see the on the horizon the dais where the throne and the crown was, and you kind of look down at Malik, kind of pulling himself up on the ship as the other guys pulled underneath, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, the last thing that guy said before he died is, instead of going back and looking for Hawk, which he thought was confusing, he thought that Devunray or Malik should go to his throne and crown.
Okay.
And you can have that one before you fly straight up if you want. We'll let
Yeah,
that
I'm
happen.
just trying to think. Okay, in that case, what I'm going to try to do is just fly down towards Malik and just yell at him to get on, and then ready in action to just dash as the dragon towards the crown.
Okay. Malik, it looks like he wants you to snap up onto him. Is that your goal, or are you gonna...
Well, I mean, I can speak common to him.
I know,
Yeah.
but again, like, there's still... Do you want to jump onto this moving bus? Do you want to jump onto this moving bus as it goes full speed down the road?
Well, here's the
Yeah,
deal.
I do, but I don't. I'm asking him if you want to try for it or
Yeah, I mean, what I would think would be that if it were anybody other than Zell, maybe not, but Zell is, really smart, and so I would probably either try to climb up on him, or actually what I could do is I could use my Channel Divinity, and could I try to heal him and then kind of like...
Yeah, that's actually
Divine
really
Angel,
cool.
Yeah, do that. Boom, I think that's it.
Yep, go ahead and cast your healing spell. So
I'll just do a level 1 healing
as you
spell.
kind of zip down, you expect him to grab onto you and kind of, but he lets you zip on, and you're kind of confused, and then he casts a spell upon you, and you can feel your wounds kind of re-healing, even though I don't think you have any.
I don't think I have any.
And then you see
Be healed.
Malik kind of just dart after you, like kind of glowing with divine light as he flies up onto top of you and lands on your back.
Right, and I have an 80 feet movement speed, so I'm just...
He can fly up to 5 times his movement speed to get to you with that ability. Yeah.
My movement speed is the 30s.
Yeah, it's
So
a channel
150 feet.
it's a channel divinity one shot get to where you need to heal kind of
Right.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cool thing.
It's not
I
bad.
forgot about that.
So then if you start flying away from the monster, I'm going to be like, hey, where you going? I thought we were combining to become one giant killer thing.
We're going to get your crown.
Wait, are you sure? This doesn't sound like the right choice.
As you guys argue about it and fly for another, you move at 80 feet around, so it's like almost three times. So it'll take you about.
Well, it would be, if I'm dashing though, because I'm going to probably use my action to dash, so 160.
Yeah, you're not going to do so for like. It would probably take about 45 minutes if you were going that clip. So it's probably going to take about an hour if you're not going full clip that way, because you move a little faster than a regular guy. But back on the deck, are you still just laughing like a maniac about these bones that just washed up?
Also, John.
Oh, go ahead.
This is a precursor. If I don't get close enough flying within an hour, I need to switch back. Otherwise, I'm stuck as a dragon permanently.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. You guys will you'll probably
That's
switch.
the one caveat.
You'll probably switch forms and hoof it then.
Yeah, hoof it for a little while.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't seem to be chasing you. What you'll initiate on the as you're still a dragon flying off, and you'll feel it's safe to turn back and run. Okay. Then sorry, it goes to you guys outside. Is there anything you guys want to do? Are you staying at the hold? Are you trying to figure out how to get back in? You do not have the orb. Actually, rather, apologies. The blade, the dagger that you put into the altar, and the orb are still in their place. Apologies, I'd forgotten.
Cool.
There's
I say short rest. Like, I'm hurting pretty bad here. Like, I don't need to jump back in there. I don't know about you, Hog.
I don't even know what we're jumping back into. That's fine.
When I left, the thing was attacking us. It sent me here. The same way it sent Jizix over there. Same way I'm assuming it sent you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if we could wait an hour though. Hawk would try to lift up the dagger and the stone from their place. Is it possible?
The dagger's immovable.
Dagger's immovable. Oh crap.
What about the stone?
He
Or the orb?
He can pick up the orb just fine.
Okay.
Can you
I'll do that.
do like a lift drop thing? Like, doot, doot? Does
Uh,
that like, unplug it, plug it back in? Does
No.
that open the door?
Make
Try to turn it off and on again.
You got it.
Boo, make a perception check though. Just you, buddy.
Oh, sorry, I rolled.
Wisdom perception.
Thank you.
Yeah. As you're kind of, talking about it, and he's picking up the stone, and he looks like he's about to set it down, you kind of see out of the just a quick glint of this green coloration inside of the orb. And you kind of look over to it and kind of take a hold of it and look inside. And kind of towards like one end of the orb, you see a small little green sliver kind of moving and then descending down towards the middle of the orb.
That's so cool.
And it settles down on
That's
nothing.
so cool. Oh man, okay.
Smash the orb.
do you understand what's happening, Andy? Right?
I don't.
Out of character.
No.
Okay, so what's happening? John basically is explaining that that dimension that we were just in exists within the orb, and that little green dot that I'm showing you
that's
is the giant dragon that Delmore turned into. So that means each of these dungeons we've been carrying with us, and we just needed to put it on this pedestal to access the dungeon. That's so fucking cool, John.
That is awesome.
Well
That is awesome.
written, my friend. Well written.
I love you guys.
I saw it a mile away.
Oh man, that little all you said was there's a green dot moving across. I was like, ah.
You started jostling with it, and I was like, yeah, he's got the amulet. He'd be able to see it just fine. It's not. Yeah. But you're pretty sure you just picked up. Yeah, I mean, you catch on. You're pretty sure you just picked up where you were. You guys inside don't feel the effects of being picked up or moved around.
Oh no! Why would
Don't drop it.
No, but it does appear that the interior, which if you recall was just a small mote of the liquid, the core liquid from the humor, it seems to have kind of exited to a larger frame. Like as you're looking at it with the eye, the amulet, you can see that inside you can see like small little motes and islands, like in positions that look like just small kind of imperfections in the glass, and then you see the movement of the green dragon, and then it kind of displaces and stops being a dragon because Zelbor shifts back into normal frame. Snapping back into the world of the fun, as you kind of snap back into Zelbor form and you guys start making, like, legging it towards the dais, you see up on the dais, just before you arrive there, kind of rising up from underneath in the same fashion that he did before in a David Bowie way, the figment, and he kind of looks back at you and he says, you've returned with the Lord's permission. Do you wish to return to sitting on it? As you kind of step onto the dais, he says.
Yes, I would. It's okay with humility. If I just stand on, I really need to get in shape.
The figment looks like Cardiff to you, Malik, and I explained him before. He looks like Cardiff, but he looks like a very well trimmed and clean cut. Like the beard's kind of shaved to a nice, point. His hair is coiffed like his younger form was, but still white. So he has like the age of old man Cardiff, but he seems to have kind of the grace and panache of the younger Cardiff. And he's wearing black and green, not the bluish Chronomancer robes that Cardiff wore.
Oh, interesting. If once I recognize him, I'd be like, guess what I happen to have on me? And
Sure.
I pull out of my bag the blue robes of Cardiff, which I didn't write them down on my sheet, but it's written down on my paper sheet here. Cardiff's black and blue cloak.
Yep, from when he died.
Like,
when he died underneath Stormlock.
yes, I kept his cloak because it was so cool. And I'm gonna be like, do you remember this?
I do not.
I would like to say, John, I'm just walking to the throne, and I just look back at Malik. I'm like, Malik, kind of need an answer on me sitting with crown here.
He bows lightly to you, Malik, and he says, "Do you wish to give him the throne and crown?"
Sure, he could sit on it. What is it to me?
He nods his head and he says, "Very unlike you, but I will allow it, my Lord de Vunray." He gestures towards the throne. "It is yours to take, Sinduscray."
I sit down and I take it in the crown.
The second you pick up the crown, it starts to, it becomes bright golden and starts glowing with energy. All of the heat in your lungs and the pain that you felt from dashing, any pain that you've suffered throughout the day, your feet aches, any of that just gets washed away with this beautiful, just soothing heat. And as you kind of set the crown onto your head and you take your seat, you notice that the water all around you and the mirror all around you starts to just bubble and boil and starts to kind of become warm looking, and steam starts to rise from the water above you and the water beneath you, just all about and all around. Malik, you feel this weird pang, this strange kind of like weird feeling, like everything is kind of moving and jostling. And as you guys are sitting there, Hawk, you're setting the orb back down, and you guys are having that moment like, oh man, it's
Yeah.
And as that's happening, the dagger kind of just starts to jiggle inside of its frame, and it kind of spits up out of the altar and sets to the side, and the orb breaks. Splash, splash, 2 more splashes in the center of the chamber. Zelbor and Malik are kind of laying there in pools of water just like you are, or you were, and the bones are kind of like spread out and away from it as the water splays out from them. Yeah, it seems that they are out of it, laying there on the stone.
Is he wearing the crown?
Zelbor has a crown on his head, yeah.
Oh no. His head's big enough already.
Yes, it's
Okay.
big enough to support this weight that I accept.
I'm going to ask you guys each what you guys do, and again, the things to note. I mean, you've been made aware of what the atmosphere is. Ask any questions you have, but I'm going to ask you what you do immediately after Malik and Zelbor appear, and I'll end with Malik. So, Boo, they appear. The bones are kind of splayed out from you. It looks like the Jizix or the Cardiff guy kind of backs away, kind of confused, and looks at the situation as it happens. What would you like to do?
Do I see anything in the bones that's of value? Do I see any equipment or anything that like gets sprayed out as that happens? Because like that's what I'm doing is like looking for just anything that any like funny looking stuff that comes out of that. Like they're fine. They're probably
Sure.
alive.
Make me 2 checks. Give me wisdom, medicine, and give me intelligence investigation.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you.
So you recognize that the bones, as they're kind of splayed out, are kind of a humanoid figure, but an older humanoid figure. And based on the stature and kind of the shape of the head and the hands as they kind of splay out, it appears that this would be the lieutenant's corpse.
I figured as much.
You kind of walk over to where his hand is, and you see that he's wearing a ring that appears to be made completely out of ice.
Can I take that ring?
You sure can.
Fuck you. What does it?
Yeah.
Come up? Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and talk just once we get done with the stream, but it does have effects that you can
That's
attune
fine.
to. Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. So as that's happening, Hawk. Oh, go ahead, real quick.
Do my other magic items start working again?
Oh yeah, it's only when it looked at
Okay.
you.
Just making sure it wasn't like a
Magic-
your weapons.
Magic, basically,
Cool.
magic. Magic is put on hold when it was looking at you. The
Just-
creature.
Thank you.
Hawk, what are you doing? It looks like Boo's kind of, looks like he's muscling through the bones and checking those out as those two appear.
Jizix is still there?
Yeah, he's off to the side. He's backing away. Again, he's like I said before. It looked like he was kind of looking for an exit, but he hasn't seemed to made it.
He would walk over to him and say, do you know if we've listed the curse of Tovash Nurnon?
I was instructed to keep everything that was within that place there. And you have made me break my keeper's oath. He looks to you with like a look of just annoyance. What are you doing? Are you trying to bring him back?
We're trying to lift the curse that is upon us.
Zelbor, you kind of cough up a little bit of water. It feels like you were just, effectively waterboarded and shunted out through water. You can kind of sense...
What's fun?
You've got the crown on your head. It doesn't seem to have an effect yet, but you can kind of feel Malik is kind of close to you. You can also hear Hawk talking, and you can kind of see Boo kind of scrambling through some bones. Looks like he found a cool ring. What are you doing?
So we're out of the magic now, right?
Yeah, you guys are back on the appear to be back at the gate, which was inside of the Vazriel temple. It had the altar, and then when the altar was used, it sent you down into the water, if you recall.
Right. I just sort of look around. I'm like, so, anyone else here tired? I'm tired. And it keeps saying... Okay.
That
And I'm
crown's
just
not
gonna
meant
cast
for
that,
you, is it?
I'm just
Okay.
gonna cast that, on the other side of the room,
Sure.
and,
You're gonna
body door and everything.
Start casting that. Okay. And then, Malik, you don't get as free an opportunity, unfortunately. As you kind of and spit out the water, you kind of look down at it, and as everyone's kind of getting up and looking about and paying attention to everything else, you kind of have this strange sensation, like you're drying out. Then you watch as the water starts to rush back up into your mouth, and all of the water that's been splayed out onto the floor starts just, not suddenly, but very just subtly, moving back into your nostrils and mouth and entering into your body. No one else sees it, but a director's cut shows that the orb that broke inside of the trough that it was set into becomes liquid and starts to pool out over the altar and down into the mess. And the normal water enters your mouth, but so does this nasty, filmy blue material. And when it enters into you, you just feel it just settle inside of you. And you look, and you look at Boo, and you look at Zelbor, and you look at Hawk, and you don't recognize them at all. You don't seem to have any care or emotion or concern for a single one of them. It's like their faces could be solidly blank. Who are these people? I don't know them. I don't have a concern for them. And that is where we will leave.
Oh, man.
That's like the worst punishment for Mel.
You guys broke
yeah.
me.
His curse is manifesting.
That is how we get our first lawful evil character in this campaign.
Yes, that's right. I will be lawful evil.
All right, I'm gonna kill the stream.